It's not what George Jones said, but how he said it. One tear-jerking introduction is what fans remember the late legend saying as he passed from the physical world, but there was also a letter and a directive aimed at his adopted grandson. Wife Nancy was there for all of it, just as she had been for over 30 years, through the boozing, the music, the abuse, the reckoning, and more. God put me with him to help him get the devil out of him, she once told the Tennessean. God put me there to do a job, and I did it. This episode of The Secret History of Country Music is actually a love story, and honestly, we want to do more like it. Tell us whose love story should be next in the comment section below, and then subscribe so you're first to hear about it. George and Nancy were both divorced when they met in 1981, after a friend dragged her from Louisiana to his concert in New York. They were married on March 3rd, 1983. Nancy would later tell the Tennessean she instantly fell in love with his voice, and how can you blame her? However, she soon realized what his other wives had known, including Tammy Wynette. He was a violent alcoholic.
When he wasn't drinking, he was fine. You know, it was just when he started drinking that he became a totally different person. And he took out all his anger and aggression that seemed like our mom.
It wasn't just the bottle. Jones also did cocaine, which led to an arrest near his home in Muscle Shoals in March 1982. In fact, he'd later tell journalist Ralph Emery about an affair with the mafia where they were trying to control him with drugs. This led to a psychotic episode where he was hearing voices and eventually institutionalized. All this came during his early years with Nancy, but she stuck with him. Look back through old YouTube videos or read old profiles like one Texas Monthly did in 1994, and you recognize he truly battled the disease.
I think you're mad at yourself.
Yeah.
I think you're saying to yourself, you don't deserve this. You don't deserve those fans. You don't deserve making this money. And you're mad at yourself.
There would be sober days or weeks, but inevitably, George would reach for a cold beer time and time again, no matter if the last one had caused him to miss a show, get divorced, or get arrested. Nancy patiently steadied him through the 80s and 90s. You can't walk around and say, "I never got slapped," she told the Tennessean in 2015, 2 years after Jones died. You could tell, it was the stare. In pop culture, it was almost a joke. In 1996, George Jones released a music video for Honky Tonk Song that spoofed a real-life story often told about the Possum driving his riding lawnmower to the liquor store because his second wife, Shirley, hid his car keys. A mural of the moment exists on a liquor store on 8th Avenue in Nashville, but a more candid memory would be when Jones ran his SUV into a bridge along I-65 in 1999. It took 2 hours for crews to free Jones, but doctors at Vanderbilt stitched up the lacerated liver and fixed his punctured lung and sent him home 2 weeks later. After that, he was done, cold turkey. With help from Nancy, fans, friends, and family got 14 sober years from Jones before he died in 2013. At the end, it was clear his time was short, but he performed as long as he could stand. In those final days, Nancy recalls him telling his 13-year-old adopted grandson Carlos that he had to be the man of the house now, something the young boy from Guatemala did with pride. He also wrote a note to his granddaughter Jennifer's unborn twins. He knew he wouldn't live to see them, so when they arrived 3.5 months later, they got a gift. Jennifer has never shared what George said in that missive. Finally, famously, George Jones' final words. Nancy recalled that her husband had been quiet for 5 days before suddenly opening his eyes, and in that thick country accent, he introduced himself. "Well, hello there. I've been looking for you. My name is George Jones." He was speaking to God, she says. Who else would know? Thanks for watching this episode of The Secret History of Country Music. For Taste of Country, I'm Anya Hammer.